my name is Kathy Hayes, and I'm a licensed marriage family therapist and the lead clinician for Chaffee Joint Union High School District. Today we're going to be talking about self-care. Self-care is any activity that we do in order to take care of our emotional, mental, and physical needs. Good self-care is a key to improving our mood and our overall well-being. What self-care is not is doing anything you really don't want to do. It's about being intentional and having a plan to make it really count in what you're doing and being able to care for yourself. It should be something that gives us energy and refuels us. Sometimes we guilt ourselves into thinking, I shouldn't be spending this much time on ourselves. We have priority with our kids, with work, our family, other activities going on, and we feel guilty when we hear messages like, oh, it must be nice to be able to go get a massage today. But yeah, it is nice, and it's what refuels us and is what we need so that we can be truly present with our families, with our children, in our workplace, so that we can be the most productive we can be because we are taking care of ourselves. If you think about it, when you're modeling this kind of importance to your children, you're showing them how important it is too, and it's teaching them how to care for themselves. And right now, being in high school, this is a difficult time, especially with having to do distance learning. We want our children to also be able to understand the importance of self-care. And so by role modeling that to them, it's just going to give them more of a reason to do it if they see mom and dad doing it as well. Today we're going to be talking about a way that is going to help you understand what self-care is. It's going to let you know what to do, the different dimensions of self-care, and we're going to go over different activities today that can help you increase your own self-care plan. If you think about ever being on an airplane that loses pressure, what do they always tell you? They say put on your own mask first. And that's what we're learning how to do when we do self-care. We're taking care of ourselves first so that we can take better care of the others that are around us. There are 3 golden rules, according to Raphael Michael in an article that he wrote about self-care. Number 1 is sticking to the basics. Over time, you'll find your own rhythm and routine. You will be able to implement more and identify more particular forms of self-care that work for you. Number 2, self-care needs to be something actively planned rather than just something that happens. If you actually take time to put self-care on your calendar and make it intentional, it's more likely going to happen. If you think of self-care as something that just happens to you, it's really not self-care. It needs to be intentional. And number 3, keep a conscious mind is really what counts. In other words, if you don't see something as self-care, don't do it. Be conscious about it. Be intentional with everything that you do when it comes to self-care. There are 4 dimensions of self-care that I'm going to cover. The first one is that of physical. And Linda Mock, she's an MSW, a Master's in Social Work, talks about really the importance of each of these 4 areas and dimensions of self-care. That first one of being physical really involves our overall health. Eating well, having a healthy lifestyle, exercising, getting out there, drinking plenty of water and getting plenty of exercise. Consider possibly as an activity decluttering your office, giving yourself space, making sure that you're taking time for you, unplugging from the computers. I know that's harder to do today because so many of us are on Zoom meetings, school's on Zoom right now, we're on to social media. But the more time that you can unplug from that, because those kinds of activities really lead to that sedentary lifestyle, is going to give you the opportunity to go outside and be more physical. The next one I'm going to cover is an emotional care. And that's really about setting clear boundaries around your time, taking care of your emotions. So whether that's taking time to journal about your feelings, talking to other people about them, or even going to talk to a therapist or a counselor and kind of help to sort those feelings out. Emotional care needs to be a top priority as well when it comes to self-care. There's also psychological self-care, and these are activities that include personal self-growth for yourself. It could be personal development, taking a class to learn a new hobby, developing new skills, or really honing in on skills that you already have and taking the time for that. Spiritual self-care might include prayer, and it also might include meditation. It's really about visualizing your life, practicing gratitude, going out and being in environments that make you more aware and more appreciative of nature and the beauty that's all around you. You may want to visualize and practice these things on a daily basis and think about it as we go through further what these different kinds of activities are. What activities are you already doing? And what activities do you need to then put into your own life? Right now I'm going to have Mr. Robert Del Pino, licensed marriage and family, come on up here, and he's going to discuss other areas in depth and move through different examples that are engaging for self-care.
Hi, my name is Robert Del Pino, licensed marriage and family therapist. I will pick up where Kathy Hayes left off at the 4 dimensions of self-care. I will start out with physical self-care. Physical self-care, your body wants to be active, your body wants to be healthy. The more active you are, the healthier you're going to be holistically. It wants to be, the more activity you can give, better physical abilities will be. Engaging your body can even help you break away from unhealthy mental stressors. So if you take away anything from this portion of the presentation, where it's physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, just understand, for me, the most important aspect is the physical ability to be well-grounded and balanced. So if you're balanced physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, the higher level of functioning you will have. Let's take a look at some physical activities. For me, the most important activity is the activity of bike riding. You can go jogging, you can do push-ups during time of COVID. There's restrictions county-wide, so it's going to be difficult to go to the gym, but the gym is one of my most favorite physical activities that I engage in. So you can partake in any of these activities, but the main important aspect is to keep busy. Let's move on to emotional self-care. Emotional self-care, our emotions often dictate the way we behave. So it is important, our emotions often dictate the way we behave. So it's important to understand what we are feeling and being mindful of those feelings, especially during times of stress. Remember, emotions are not good or bad, they are just emotions. So instead label your feelings as what they are: anger, fear, sadness, excitement, joy. One of the problems that we encounter is students holding in your emotions. Do not deny your emotions. The most important aspect of the dimension of emotions is expressing yourself. Self-expression is very, very important. Let's take a look at some activities that incorporate your emotions. Let's schedule a visit to the therapist, number 1. Primary. We highly recommend that one. If you're in good body, if you need a good body shake and cry, cry. Talk to somebody. Let your emotions out, don't hold them in. Try some mindful exercises. Try some deep breathing exercises. Try some crossword puzzles that will help. But the most important thing is to express yourself and get these emotions out. Okay? All right, let's move on to mindfulness and the mental self-care activities. The most important aspect of the mental dimension is to focus on how you can improve your thoughts. We all get into these negative self-thoughts, negative self-thinking patterns. What we recommend is changing those negative thoughts to positive self-thoughts. Okay? You can really improve your homeostasis, your balance, your overall well-being with changing negative thoughts to positive self-thoughts. Okay? At times, our minds needs rest and relaxation. At other times, it needs to be challenged and stimulated. These activities help your mind to get the rest it needs. And others provides the mental challenges it needs to be engaged. And find what works for you. So your activities, mental self-care activities can include catch up on your favorite blog. Do something for someone else that you otherwise would not do. And don't tell on yourself. Okay? Buy a coloring book and color. Very, very important. Read a fiction book. Okay? Write a limerick. Okay? But do something that takes care of your mental well-being. All right? Now let's move on to spiritual activities and spiritual self-care. Very, very important. Spiritual self-care revolves around your values, not just religious activities. A spiritual self-care practice is any ritual that connects you to your true self and the real you. The real you is the raw expression of who you were meant to be and offer to this world. Let's take a look at some spiritual activities. Help someone in some way, like I mentioned earlier. Open a door, carry a bag, or feed someone's parking meter. Share with someone who's less fortunate. Be it some lunch, be it some, take some clothes by Goodwill. Do something that feeds your spirit. Attend a spiritual community service. Make time for meditation and relaxation. And do several 1-minute thought awareness meditations throughout the day to check in with your feelings and emotions. To help us further understand and practice how mindfulness and meditation works, here is Christian Hernandez to walk us through these activities.
All right, thank you, Robert. As you mentioned, I'm going to go over some mindfulness activities that you can do on your own or with others. These activities are to just help you get grounded and to help you to organize your thoughts when they're scattered or when you are feeling overwhelmed. So there's 3 activities that I'm going to review right now. The first one is observation using your senses, a body scan, and also feeling the air on your skin. So for the observation using your 5 senses, the goal of this exercise is to fully connect with the world around you, elevating your vibration by giving you a boost of positivity and appreciation. You can either sit observing a beautiful scene, such as the ocean or a sunset, or you can pick out a natural object in your vicinity, like a shell, flower, or insect. Use your 5 senses to notice everything around you. What are 5 things that you can see? What are 4 things that you can hear? What are 3 things that you can feel? What are 2 things that you can smell? And what is 1 thing that you can taste? Take time on each sense to really notice what it is you are sensing. How does it make you feel? Be aware of the emotions and thoughts that it brings up. And if you find yourself drifting away, just be aware of it and come back to the present. Next, we're going to move on to the body scan. Spend just a few minutes slowly moving your awareness from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Where is there discomfort? Do any muscles feel stiff? Imagine the tension being released. Next, we're going to move on to feeling the air on your skin. So, standing outside, notice how the air feels against your skin for just 30 to 60 seconds. This quick and easy mindfulness exercise can be done at almost any time, but it provides a powerful way of turning your brain to experiential processing mode, as opposed to evaluative or judging mode. When you move away from thinking analytically, you're less likely to be troubled by a critical inner voice, even if this respite is just for a few minutes at a time. Next, we're going to review meditation. According to Catherine Hurst, the author of The Secret Law of Attraction, some forms of meditating involve using your concentration, which might include focusing on your breathing, a sensation, or repeating a mantra. Mindfulness meditation primarily involves building on your concentration to establish a relaxed state. This meditation exercise is a great way to get started on a meditation routine. So you're just going to begin by sitting on a chair or on the floor with your legs crossed. Close your eyes and focus on your breathing. Capture the sensations in your mind as you inhale and as you exhale. Notice the air entering via your nose and exhaling via your mouth. Once your concentration has effectively fixated on your breathing, start to notice any sounds in the room. What can you hear? Expand your thoughts to sensations. What exactly can you feel? In your mind, if your mind starts to stray, then focus on your breathing again to pull your thoughts back to the present. Participate in this simple exercise for 10 minutes each day, and you'll gradually feel more centered and attached to your inner self. Here are some resources that you can look into yourself in case you need some additional support. We hope that this presentation has been helpful to you. We encourage you to try these activities that we have discussed and encourage your children to also practice in these self-care activities. During these times of isolation, self-care is of the utmost importance. Establishing routines, including activities, in each of these domains will help you to maintain your mental and physical well-being. And most importantly, seek the help of professionals if you cannot do this on your own. There is no shame in asking for help. For Kathy, Robert, and myself, we appreciate your time, and please seek out help if you need it. Take care.